which formal report we have to, because this thing happened here, we have to release it formally so that one way or another, we don't know what is in that report. We inform the public about what happened, okay? But we will expect a formal report and we inform the public accordingly. There were two issues, remember colleagues, it was about authenticity of those documents and their relevance to this process. And we expect our colleagues to finalize this assignment because we don't want anxiety. Either way, we need everything to be done transparently, and the chairperson of that subcommittee has assured me that this afternoon they have a meeting with Dr. Kaseke, Deputy Governor, and Mrs. Vagenda at 3 p.m. Then we should be able to take it up. But we promise we'll make it public. So don't think there's anything which we are going to do behind doors. We are going to have whatever has come out of that public. Okay. Lastly, colleagues, we did ask our CID officers to do some assignment in regard to seal investments, which they did up to late evening. I don't know whether the lead of seal investment is here. And we had agreed she should be here. We sort this thing out. Seal investments. Well, she doesn't seem to be here. Mr. Kagolo, please try to find out where Mrs. Nanyonga, Evelyn Nanyonga, where she is, and try to invite her, because we did place security at the seal office to secure whatever was there, because we couldn't have brought it for examination. There were so many, I think, cabinets full of documents and so on. We don't know which is relevant or not. So, yes.
Procedural. Are you?
That lead of seal has appeared. We actually handed over the lady to police. So I think it would be police to tell the whereabouts of the same, because police is here.
No, we didn't hand over her to police. What we needed were the documents, and we asked the police to go and secure those documents. We didn't hand over the physical body of the lady of receipt police. We didn't do that. And the police secured, first of all, the receipt books. They walked in my office this morning with copies. I told them to hand them with the clerk. What they failed to secure are actually the physical files. But when they consulted me, I advised them to get in touch with the mainstream police to secure that office. And I think that process is going on. We shall have another small conversation about seal after we are sorted out with Bank of Uganda. Vincent?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The procedural issue which I wanted to raise, Chair, is that you did mention about the other agency that we shall be talking to tomorrow, but I had wanted to draw your attention to the fact that we interacted with a number of agencies here, and Max advocates played quite a significant role in this whole investigation. And I don't know whether, Chair, you meant Max advocates.
I said the legal services provider, and the one we know is Max.
Okay. That's what I wanted.
Procedure? Elijah?
Chair, I've also been waiting when we were meeting them, because I know the last time they were supposed to appear here, they did not appear. They did not appear. We can't conclude this without them appearing here, because there are issues, very pertinent issues. If they are failing to appear, we use the usual means to coerce them.
We sorted that out. We'll be wasting a lot of time if we go to the same thing. We sorted out, they're appearing tomorrow.
Then two, getting back to the issue of seal. During our interaction on Friday, the name came of Naliali. May you use your office to, as they inform Nanyonga to be here to come together with Mr. Naliali, who also happened to have been a former staff of Bank of Uganda, because there are specific issues we want to put to Mr. Naliali.
Let's discuss internally, and if we feel there is a relevant information which Mr. Nalanya has, we will ask him to come. As of now, we may not have that information, but once we discuss it formally after this meeting, if it is, we shall invite him to come. Honorable Vyandala?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, you talked about the subcommittee which will be meeting Madam Bajent and Dr. Kasekende. Then you concluded by saying the public will be informed of what has taken place. Where does the committee feature there?
It is the committee that will inform the public. It will not be the subcommittee. The subcommittee reports to us, and then we own the report of the subcommittee. Then we inform the public.
Chair, maybe just for information, this afternoon we shall be meeting the registrar of land titles.
No. We don't want to go into the details. Just that's your program. For us, what we want is a report. And once the report is out, we handle it and let the public know. Yeah. Okay. Colleagues, Governor, you are most welcome. We would like to thank you and your deputy and all your staff for having persevered this process up to now. I know it has been a little bit uncomfortable at times, but here we are. May we therefore hear from you if you have any specific response to all the issues that I'm sure your staff now forwarded to you. We will start with what I think is most critical: Cooperative Bank. May I also request, colleagues, I didn't inform you, I'm really sorry. I met one of the shareholders, directors of Tefe Bank, some old man. He came to my office. He's told me that the majority of those people have since then passed on. They are really saying trying to get some of his colleagues is very difficult, and he didn't want to come and give an individual opinion about this. He told me that there are only 3 still alive, and he prayed that if he can get them by Tuesday, then they might want to appear. I told him he can only write to us because we may not be able to convene, but he can write to us. I asked him to get in touch with Mr. Kagora Clark to get the real issues. So we may not have so much about Tefe because the majority of the people have since then passed on, including their chairperson. He told me their chairperson, was it Mr. Sevana or some Sevagereka? Mr. Sevagereka, yeah. Mr. Sevagereka, but he also mentioned Sevana, I think, there and so on. Okay. Honorable Vyandala, about Tefe?
Yes, about Tefe. We have always been, or at least have been, anxious, consistent and persistent in talking about the land titles.
Sorry?
The land titles which were obfuscated under the Tefe.
You asked the question. Bank of Uganda is here.
No, but Mr. Chairman, at one time you said it was sealed, at one time you said it is the Auditor General.
To do what? The seal, I think, took over properties of 3 banks. Greenland, Cooperative, and ICB. So it couldn't have been sealed.
No, this was, you are the one, because I've been asking about it. Anyway, the bottom line is, those land titles which were collaterals, where are they?
Maybe you you need to put it a little bit different. How TEFE was resolved, and is there any other issues that are pending? Because when you look at the Auditor General's report, the status of TEFE is status is closed. The status is closed. And now that you say it's closed, can we have the final report? Because that final report should be able to what? To show. Governor, the status is closed. I think it's the only bank where you say it is closed. So can we have it is on page Roman 5. There is a table, Auditor General's report, page Roman 5. Page Roman 5. The table down, table showing the financial institutions closed and reasons for closure. Are we together? Yes. Roman 5. So I think that will answer the Honorable Abraham Viandala's petition. May we therefore start with, could you end with that one? Let's start with the next, which is Cooperative Bank.
Mr. Chairman, have you decided we shouldn't discuss the rest of the subjects you had raised?
Sorry?
You raised a number of subjects which you wanted answers to.
Yes.
Have you decided we shouldn't raise them now?
Yes.
Shouldn't?
You should just get the responses to the submissions which are made by these banks in your absence. Then from there, you raise the other issues.
At what point, now or later?
Start with the responses from the banks, because the banks are here. Some of them, I think.
Can I ask ADS to start?
Thank you, Chair, through the Governor. We have compiled a list of the various banks and the issues they raised, to which we have put together written responses. We have for Global Trust, and I have a file here which I will submit over to you, Mr. Chairman. For Global Trust, we have that as Appendix A1. We have for Greenland Bank, ICB, NBC, Cooperative Bank, and if you allow me just to put a note on Cooperative Bank and get back to it, Crane Bank. In addition, you had raised an issue about the terms of the loan of the 478 billion to Crane Bank, and we have provided a written explanation on that matter.
But I thought when that issue came up, we did say that we're expecting the Auditor General's report. Because I would think, I could be wrong, correct me, that your response should actually be response to the what? To the new Auditor General's report, which came out on Friday. Don't you think so?
Mr. Chair,
in retrospect.
No, Mr. Chairman, the issue there are two issues. There's responses to a special audit on the spending of the 478 within Crane Bank, but there was a particular matter that was raised by this committee with respect to, because there was a discussion about the 478 billion shillings being a loan, and for that we are providing a written explanation about that matter. So there's whether or not it was a loan, and then separately there will be a response to the special audit. But as the Governor indicated, we have not yet received the final report that you have. So we are unable to respond to it at this time.
Okay, let me try to go through and see if your responses doesn't touch here. These were the specific audit objectives. Okay?
Okay.
To establish whether the statutory manager prepared financial statements in line with Section 90(4) the FIA to ascertain the liquidity position of CBL during the statutory management period, to establish whether liquidity support of 466 was appropriately requested for by the statutory manager and subsequent approved and disbursed by Bank of Uganda, to establish the source of funding for liquidity support and other intervention costs amounting to 478.8 billion, to establish whether the liquidity support of 466 was used to set obligation of bona fide customers that had sufficient account balances prior carrying out the transactions, to establish whether the funds used to cater for